Well, hello everyone, we're live. It's Tuesday Tips Live with me, Phil, here in the Digital DJ Tips studio. And today we're looking at the 5 best, really portable, ultra portable controllers. The kind of tiny controllers that you would take with you in a bag, that you would take with you to DJ on a plane, the kind of controllers you'd throw in a backpack and walk to the top of a hill with. That's the kind of thing we're looking at today. And the reason we're looking at it today is that it's hotted up. There's some new stuff to look at in that part of the market. So I thought today would be a good time to do that. So before we go any further, just in case you are totally new to this, you haven't got a clue who we are, we're Digital DJ Tips. We're the people behind Rock the Dancefloor, the best-selling book on digital DJing on Amazon, but we're also the people behind the 25 DJ courses that we sell on the Digital DJ Tips website. Digital DJ Tips website is a great place if you are just starting out in DJing and you want to catch up on what's going on in the DJ world, but also get started, because our book is there and it's for free. And you can read everything I just showed you in the printed book here for free, which is literally the best way of getting up to speed in DJing. So as well as that, our courses are over here as well. So that's who we are. But every Tuesday and every Thursday on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch and Mixcloud Live, we go live, which is exactly what we're doing now, to help you basically become better DJs and better DJ producers, and also just to chat DJing for a half an hour, because it's fun. Nothing more than that. So I'm Phil, I'm the CEO of Digital DJ Tips, and I'm here for the next, well, half an hour, 40 minutes or so, to chat DJing with you guys and girls. Right, okay, as I say, today we're talking about the 5, in our opinion, best ultra portable, tiny DJ controllers, the kind of DJ controllers that we've got here. And so this is the kind of DJ controller that is great fun if you want a second DJ controller because you've already got your main controller, or perhaps you want to set up a completely portable setup where you are literally just, that's what you've got, it all fits in a bag. Some of you will have seen me DJing with stuff like this on our live streams. So whatever the reason, these controllers are actually very popular, more popular than you might think. So let's talk through, without going any further, our top 5, and in doing so, hopefully you'll learn a little bit more about them. Please do comment. I've got all the comments coming through from everywhere live, so I'll be able to, afterwards, after we've talked through this, we'll go back to the comment cam and we'll sit there and we'll just chat about this stuff for a little while. So, okay, without further ado, let's get stuck in. Let's talk about these. These are the 5. So let's put them in some kind of order to help you decide if you're thinking of buying one of these. These are all great, by the way. They wouldn't be on this desk if they weren't great. So we're literally just saying, you know, in our opinion, which is the best of the best and which is just pretty good. So our number 5 is, in fact, it isn't that one. He said picking up the wrong controller. That's a good start, isn't it? Our number 5 is this one here. This is the tiny little, let's just try and get that in picture here so you can see it better. The tiny little, well, they're all tiny, DDJ-200 from Pioneer DJ. So this is a controller that is designed for iPads, iPhones, and also it works with your laptop. It can work with Rekordbox on your laptop, which is Pioneer DJ's own software. So the good things about this controller, well, it works with Rekordbox. None of the other controllers we're about to look at do, and Rekordbox might be your software of choice. So this is the one for you in that case. It also does work with phones and tablets. Sometimes we have our DJ stuff on, you know, we're using an app on a phone or a tablet and we don't want to use a laptop. Well, this will work with that as well. And the big disadvantage of this is that it's got no audio at all on board. So what do I mean by no audio on board? Well, what we're talking about is it hasn't got a way to plug in your headphones or plug in your speakers. And so you need to have basically a hack or an external audio interface. Now we've actually got some external audio interfaces here. And this is one. This little Denon thing I've got here is an example of an external audio interface, but this is for DVS. But basically you need an extra box. You need an extra box with this kind of stuff on it and a computer cable, a USB, because it's not built into the computer, into the unit. And that's a bad thing. You know, you're buying a DJ controller nowadays, you do expect to have built into it audio, someone to plug in your headphones, someone to plug in your speakers. This one comes with a cable. It's called a splitter cable, and it takes the output of your computer, the left and right output of your computer's headphone socket, and lets you put one into some headphones and one into some speakers. But or your you know, iDevice if it happens to have headphone sockets. None do nowadays, but it's all a bit of a hack. So that is definitely the downside of this unit, especially when we see a couple of units we're going to look at in a little while that are cheaper than that have got audio built into them. However, it is a popular controller, and it is one that you can certainly learn on, and you can certainly use as your backup device, if nothing else. So that's the Pioneer DDJ-200. So number 4 on our list is the one I picked up by mistake a second ago. It's this one here. It's called the Buddy, the Reloop Buddy. Now this is one of 2 controllers that are new in our lineup today, which has kind of prompted me to do this for you. So the Reloop Buddy is, again, let's just put this here so you can see it a bit closer. The Reloop Buddy is quite unique in these 5 in that it's got a slot at the back. And the slot at the back is for you to plug to stand your iPad or indeed your iPhone, but it fits an iPad, even an iPad Pro, the smaller one fits in there perfectly. So this is designed as an iPad controller. Indeed, it's for algorithms, DJ software, and it also works with laptops, so you can use it on laptop as well. It's got switches on the side which will let you switch between the 2. This controller is good because of the iPad slot. There's no other controller that's got that, so you can turn this into a really nice little iPad DJ setup really well. And also it controls the software pretty extensively, including the neural mix functions on the software, which lets you mix out, instead of low, mid and high frequencies, it lets you mix out bass and drums and vocals and stuff, which is pretty cool. The downsides to this, it only works with, or rather it doesn't work with Serato or Rekordbox, which are easily the two biggest DJ software platforms out there. Algorithms DJ is very good. And also it will work with Virtual DJ, but and you could map it to, say, Traktor, but it doesn't work with Serato, and it doesn't work out the box with Rekordbox, which is something that might be put off for you if you want to use one of those big pieces of software. Okay, so if you've just joined us, we're talking through our 5 best tiny, portable, ultra small DJ controllers, and we've already done 2 of them. So look, where were you at the beginning? It could be because you aren't subscribed to the channel. If you're subscribed to the channel, we can tell you about these things, we can notify you. So wherever you are, you could be on YouTube, but you could be on Facebook, you could be on Twitch, you could be on Mixcloud. Just hit that subscribe button, and so we can let you know when we go live with these things. And of course, if you're enjoying this, hit the share and hit the like as well. We would be appreciative of that. Okay, so you can catch up on the replay anyway if you've just joined us, which will be on YouTube and Facebook from the beginning. But anyway, we've already done number 5 and number 4. Let's move on to number 3. And number 3 is this little one here. It's the Numark Party Mix for Serato. And I believe this also works fine with Virtual DJ. Most controllers work fine with Virtual DJ. So what's special about the Party Mix for Serato? From Numark rather. Well, this is a controller that's got a pretty unique thing here on the back. It's got built-in lights. So you can literally have a light show going as well. And it might look quite lame, but let me tell you, if you set this controller up on a live stream, and you have it so that your live stream camera is cutting off about here and showing everything behind you. In other words, you and the controller and your hands, but it's not showing the lights. But you're in a room. This is going to make your room look really cool on your live stream. And also, if you've got a little party in your house, again, these lights are really cool. They're good. And this is coming from a pro DJ. You know, I think it's fun. And it works. So that's a good feature to have. Now, the rest of the features for Serato are all right. They're a little bit falling behind the best in breed, which we're going to look at in a minute. I mean, you got very limited pad controls. That's the main thing. And just a lot of the other controls that you would be used to having on a full-size controller aren't on this. So it's very much a budget controller. But you do get 2 decent jog wheels. You do get your pitch faders. So not bad. And of course, as with all the controllers here, apart from the DDJ-200 we looked at the beginning, it has got audio on it. So you've got your sockets for plugging in your headphones and your speakers. So that's the Numark Party Mix 200. Another great thing about the Party Mix 200 is the price. It's really cheap. You can find this at an absolute bargain nowadays. And then a bad thing about it, actually, looking at it now, I've just remembered, this lead is wired in. You can't unplug the cable, which I just think is a bit poor. You know, what if it breaks? The others have all got separate detachable cables on them. So, counting down as we are to number 1 of our ultra portable controllers. The number 2 slot is actually a joint winner. Ba-da-da. The joint winner is the DJ-to-go-2 Touch from Numark, and not shown here, the Hercules Starlight. The Hercules Starlight is basically a carbon copy of what I'm holding in my hand. It's just the same thing from another manufacturer. Well, nearly the same thing. So what's so special about these? I mean, they're lacking an awful lot of things. There's no EQ on them. There's none of the features, even on things like the Party Mix. It's missing from this. What's so cool about this? I'll tell you what's so cool about it. Look how big it is. This thing is awesome, size-wise. You can fit this on your laptop, just covering the trackpad, leaving the keyboard completely free for searching and stuff. But also, you can throw this in any bag. You put this in your pocket. The jog wheels are touch sensitive on the top and nudging at the side like all big jog wheels are. It's incredible what they've crammed into this. And yes, it hasn't got any EQ. It hasn't got, the pads are really rudimentary. It's an absolute compromise DJing on one of these. But let me tell you a truth about that controller I've just had in my hand there. I know for a fact that some very, very big name DJs indeed have prepared and mixed whole radio shows that have gone out on the biggest radio networks you can think of on that controller, because it's so insanely portable. They just keep one in their bag, pull it out and DJ, put the whole set together on a plane or whatever and perform that way. If you want the absolute smallest of the small, if you want something that you can just forget you're even carrying and you're prepared to put up with the compromises, it's this one. So this one wins our second slot along with the Hercules, just because it's so tiny. I mean, it fulfills the brief of ultra portable controller better than anything else here. And they're very, very popular for that reason. Also very, very cheap, by the way. These are real giveaway cheap. So that brings us on to our winner and the reason why we are presenting today as we are this whole subject, because a brand new controller was launched today, which we've known about and played on for months. And I want to tell you the story of it. One of our tutors, DJ Angelo, who has done some training in our Scratching for Controller DJs course, but also has just made a brand new course with us, DJ Angelo's Tricks and Transitions, which is coming out at the end of this month. DJ Angelo was with us last month filming for that course. Intensive, intensive week of filming, day and night, every second. But one of the things he brought with him was the controller I'm about to show you. And Angelo is one of these DJs that is always touring, COVID willing. He's always touring. His sets are very intricate. He puts a lot of time and a lot of thought into it, and therefore a lot of planning. He's got to do cue points. He's got to do beat gridding. He's got to literally rehearse the stuff he's going to do on proper turntables when he gets to his gigs. He's got to be perfect at all this stuff, and he's got to do it often in a hotel room, in a plane. And Angelo said none of the stuff out there worked for him. Didn't have everything he needed on it. So he, as an ambassador of Reloop, approached them, partnered up with them, and together they came up with the controller that has just stormed in at our #1 slot. I loved it when I saw it a month or so ago. I've had it here all week playing with it, and I think it's absolutely brilliant. So this is our winner, and this is it. It's called the Reloop Ready. The Reloop Ready. Yes, rubbish name, I know, but great, great controller. So let's have a closer look at it and see why we think this is so good. So the Reloop Ready wins because of what they've squashed into this. Now, it's well built. It's a nice little controller, but it's not built like pro DJ gear, like the biggest pro gear, but it's nicely enough built. But it's what they've managed to squeeze into it that really gets me. I mean, let's just talk through some of the stuff we got here. Full-size pads, absolutely full size. They're RGB as well. It's got EQ, it's only got bass and treble. None of these have got a mid EQ. I think it's just too much to fit that into units like this to have the mid EQ there. Really nice size for the unit jog wheels. These are the pitch faders. Look where they've moved them to. And they've done this because without moving them from here, wherever they would have put them, it means that they would have had to have had smaller pads or smaller jog wheel, and Angelo and the design team didn't want that, so they moved the pitch faders to here. You could remap those to do other stuff if you wanted. It's strange, but actually I don't mind it at all. But look, the reason this wins is it's got all of Serato. It's a Serato controller. All of Serato's pads are implemented, all the modes, including the new scratch bank. You've got loop, you've got sampler. It's all there. You've got not only key lock, but key sync. You've got vinyl mode. You've got all the parameter buttons. Parameters 1 and 2 are there. You've got full control over both Serato effects units. You've got a loop encoder, a full loop encoder for each, dedicated filter for each channel. It really does have everything that you would get on a bigger controller, bar that third EQ and it's this size. It's literally the size of something that you could just put on your laptop. In fact, let's just do that. Let me just show you. In fact, no, I won't actually. I've just realized if I unplug that laptop, the whole broadcast goes down. So let's not show you. But it is a really wonderful little controller. Now, the downside to this is a little bit pricey. It's about 249. I think that's euros. It's 200 and something in everything, pounds, euros and dollars. And if you aren't already an owner of Serato DJ Pro, you'd need to buy it to unlock most of the good functions that make this stand apart from the crowd. But I think most of the people buying this are going to be people buying it as a second controller. As I say, it's got everything that you really would find on bigger Serato controllers here. Of course, it's got an audio interface. Of course, it's got headphones and sockets for your speakers. It's also got the Q-Mix knob there as well, so that you can DJ in just your headphones if you want to. I just think this is a really, really nice controller, and I think they've knocked it out of the park. It's literally punching above its weight. It's the Reloop Ready. Not a fan of the name, I have to be honest, but I do think that they've done a really good job on this controller. Really looking forward to reviewing it. We haven't had it long enough to prepare our review yet, but hopefully that'll be coming later this week. You can read more about this on the Digital DJ Tips website, by the way. Let's head over to the comment cam again and see what you guys and girls think. So yeah, just as I was saying, if you head over to the Digital DJ Tips website, this is now the top story as I speak, as we record this, or as we broadcast this, at 5 p.m. Central European Time, Tuesday the 13th of April. Will it stay at the top of our site? Well, that depends what happens in the meantime. But right now, it's the top story. So if you want to go and read more about this, you can have a look at it down here. But that is our lineup. Let us know what you think, people. Right, well, some of you might have noticed that we are in a slightly different studio today. We are actually doing some renovations here, and I was like, oh no, we're going live in like 5 minutes, what we're going to do. So we hacked everything together, so I hope it all looks and sounds okay, people. Right, okay, let's get stuck in then, and let's talk to you guys and girls about what you think about this, because this is what this is all about, really. So I'm reading from the screen now, so if you'd like to comment, you just chat away and we will try and get your comments here. Loads and loads and loads of you just saying hello. So hi to GM and Mixmaster G and DJ Philip Tan and Loris and Thomas in Seattle, and Martin, DJ Smidzy and Mike and Modish Mark in Seattle, Driver John, all our regulars. Thank you so much for supporting. It does mean a lot to us, people. But I do want to talk about these controllers James says, talking of tiny controllers, who's the smallest DJ you know, Phil? The smallest DJ I think I've ever DJed with is Sister Bliss from Faithless. She's tiny. She's absolutely tiny. We DJed together a long time ago now. But yeah, I'd say Sister Bliss is probably the smallest DJ I've ever played with. Thank you, Joe. Yes, did enjoy my holiday. Seems like a long time ago now. It always does, doesn't it, with holidays? Anyone asking questions which are not related to this, that's fine, but we will be back on Thursday where you can ask those questions, just to let you know. So Positive Con says, I started with the Party Mix. It was really good. Cheap, but you still learn the basics, and it's got a great backspin on it as well. So there we go. Hello, Christine. So Saint Steve said, I thought I would have seen the Denon Prime go in the picture. No, not small enough. We were going for really, really small controllers here, and that's why you didn't see the Denon Prime go. Let me just get our shot nice again there. There we go. Spent a little bit of time setting that up. Shame to mess it up. Yeah, that's why we didn't go for that, because it wasn't small enough. Kevin, I was hoping to see the DDJ-RB. Yep, you know, DDJ-RB, DDJ-SB, DDJ-400, Impulse 200, Impulse 300. These are all small, but not ultra small, not ultra portable. Everything I'm showing you here is appreciably smaller than all those controllers, and that's why we haven't included those controllers in here as well. War Machine says, I'd like to maybe get an Impulse 500 or DDJ 400. Again, these are slightly bigger, but I still love my Prime 4. Well, there you go then. Decisions, yeah. Thomas just says, I want that Numark. Ben says, the Numark controller looks like a dash cam controller for your car. It does indeed, doesn't it? So we covered the Hercules Starlight, person on Facebook. GM says, you've been tidying up, Phil. Yeah, one thing I want to do, one thing I'm really looking forward to doing is tidying up those shelves you see there, because I really want to just get some stuff on display there that's kind of hidden in the studio and make a bit more of those. So at the moment, they're just kind of like a stash point for gear, but I'll be tidying those up we are improving the studio. The other thing we've done, and some of you will have noticed on the broadcast, is introduce this little camera here because I've really wanted a camera where I can just show people stuff close up like this. So we've got this camera here, but what we haven't done yet is fit the overhead camera back. So when I next come to do I don't know, a live stream or a demo or something, I don't know what I'm going to do. I better get on Amazon and get an overhead ordered quite quickly. So yeah, we're every couple of years we renovate things. We realised we'd been in this studio for 5 years. Yeah, all the cameras have moved. 5 years. I couldn't believe that. I just honestly couldn't believe that. It seems like, you know, there's still things I wanted to do when we moved in I haven't done, and I just thought, oh, I'll do them in a few months. 5 years. Mr. Dave C, I almost went for the DDJ-200, but I ended up with the Hercules 500, which I love. I wouldn't mind the cheap Numark one though. Yeah, lots and lots and lots of people like that Numark. Craig says, afternoon Phil, what's the best small portable controller using Rekordbox? Would there be an option to use this as a backup at mobile events? Yes, so it would be the Rekordbox DDJ-400 if you want one with an audio interface, or the DDJ-200 that we featured there if you don't mind getting an external way of getting your audio working there. So Driver John says, I'm saving up for an XDJ XZ. That certainly isn't a small controller. So this time, Driver John, I'm going to leave that comment there. Mike's got the Impulse 200 as a second controller. Yeah, a little bit bigger than the ones we're looking at today. But yeah, it's a good little controller, Mike. A good little choice. Which one works well with Beatport? Let's talk about Beatport then. Beatport will work with... Let's just look at the controllers to remember the ones we've got. It will definitely work with the Serato controllers. In fact, it will definitely work with all of them, thinking about it, because it works with Rekordbox, DJ Pro and Serato, which is the software we've been talking about. And if you want to use them with Virtual DJ, work with that as well. So you can use the streaming services with all of those. DJ Mike says, if I had a child, I would absolutely get him the DDJ-200 or 400, but that Numark Touch is really good as well for Serato, so thank you for sharing that. Voyager 1 says the Reloop Buddy wins hands down. That's the little one that gives you the slot for the iDevice, so thank you for that. So Salvation Drum and Bass, I love my Monster Go DJ mini standalone heaven. Yes, haven't seen those around for many years. I'm glad you've still got one and it's still working. Yeah, Google it if you're interested, people. The Monster Go DJ was certainly a fun little thing. DJ Scratch Gonzo, there's just never a perfect controller for me. No, that's part of the truth about DJing, so stop looking for one. Use what you've got, it'll be okay. Alan says, as a previous user of the DDJ-200, while it was a great little controller, I definitely think Pioneer should have added an audio interface along with a phone or tablet dock and a built-in battery to make it a brilliant portable controller. Yeah, I don't think you're going to get a built-in battery in DJ controllers. You know, they should just work from USB. But I totally agree with you on the other points. It's a shame they didn't do that. Matt's loving the pitch faders on this little one. They are lovely, aren't they? I mean, they're in a strange place. What do you think about the placement of these? I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. But Matt's loving that. They are nice and big pitch faders. Well, Angelo had a say in that, and Angelo is a DJ that likes to have pitch faders. Noel says the WeGo 4 had a slot on the back. Yeah, you can't get it anymore though, but yeah, you're quite right. It certainly did. And other Reloop controllers did. But none of the controllers I've shown you here today have got that slot on the back that lets you plug in a iPad apart from the algorithm enabled Reloop Buddy. That's what I was getting at there, Noel. So Philip Tan, since the Reloop Ready also has an iOS switch, does that mean it works with DJ Pro? I would expect it does. Yeah, they don't say that it does, but I would. No, in fact they do say it does. So yeah, it definitely does. Yeah, so the new Reloop one, and what Philip's talking about here is it's got a switch here. See on the side here to switch between these two inputs. You've got one for a computer and one for a iOS device, and that will let you use that with the algorithm software on an iPad as well. So yeah, you're quite right there. It will let you do that. Philip, well pointed out. Herban Warfare says, I thought the Reloop Buddy just got Serato support. I'm not sure actually. Maybe it did, maybe it always has. I don't think it did. I might be wrong there. If anyone can confirm or deny that, then please let us know. I have been known to be wrong. Ed says, thanks Phil, always great info with real experience feedback. Good and not so much so. Well, I just like to share what I know. I don't know everything, but I will happily share what I do know. All right then. So you loads and loads of great comments here from so many of you. Obviously, a lot of you have used these controllers. A lot of you seem to have started with them, which is interesting. Have you kept them? Have you kept them? I would. I'd keep it. I'd certainly keep a controller like this as a second one. Joel is one of those people who started with a Party Mix. A lot of you looking at the gear on the back shelves, saying, "I wish I could have those." Yeah, it's a perk of the job to have long-term loans on some of the best DJ gear out there. I'll definitely give you that. So one thing the Party Mix definitely needs is a USB socket. There's always a small chance that that cable will break. Yes, I agree with you completely there. That's true. Oscar says, are you going to make a video for this where you can watch the replay, and we're going to be reviewing the Denon, you put Denon in my head there. We're going to be reviewing the Reloop Ready controller for sure. Hello to Lou over there in Tampa, Florida. Mike says, to me the Starlight is better because of the lights. Well, there we go. We said, you know, it's a toss-up between the DJ-200 Touch and the Hercules Starlight, but either of those will do you good if you want the tiniest of tiny. I wouldn't care which one I had, honestly, I wouldn't. The great thing about the Hercules Starlight, this is XMR Films, is that it's got a bass and filter knob, so you can do a rudimentary mix. That's a good point, actually. What have I done with that tiny controller? I can't even see it now. Oh, there it is. Has this got a... No, you've actually raised a good point. So actually, I would say the Starlight is a little bit out in front now. Now you've pointed that out. It does have a little knob that's got some kind of EQ control on it. That said, you could remap something on this if you didn't need it. I'm not sure what. If you always used sync, maybe you could remap these pitch controls to give you a filter or something. I don't know if that's possible, but yeah, all right, I agree with you. Numark Party Mix, Numark DJ-200, officially a second choice now in second place if you want a tiny device. And the Hercules Starlight is out in front. So I love you people. You always put me right. You always give me knowledge so I can look even smarter next time I turn the cameras on. At the expense of looking even dumber this time, right? But hey, that's the way it works. The DJ-200 fits perfectly on a 2012 MacBook Pro. Yeah, they fit on the, on the front of a laptop, the bit, I've got a laptop here that isn't plugged in. So the beauty about the DJ-200 is it fits on this bit of the laptop. So you can have it on there, and then you can still use the laptop for your, searching and stuff. Whereas I can show you now. Now I've pulled a laptop out, I can show you. And this is a different size laptop. The idea of this one is that you put it on there like that, and that kind of gives you and that fits perfectly. Better than this is a 15-inch laptop, better than this on a 13-inch laptop. Yeah, they're a really nice idea, those little controllers, for that reason, because it just means that you've got less room needed, like DJing on a plane, on a little tray table on a plane or something, right? It's really important that you have as much room as possible, or you can set up in as little room as possible, basically. So Matt says the Numark Edge is the most portable controller, shaped like an iPad and flat, so it can go between a few books in a backpack. Yeah, but you can't get it anymore, Matt. It's been and gone. Great for airplane mixing. These all are great for airplane mixing. That's true. Ashley spent 3 months in a tent. Hello, by the way, Ashley. Not chatted to you for a while. In a tent in Ibiza with the original DJ-200 and a pair of mini rig speakers. Wow. Good fun indeed. I hope you got out the tent at some point there, Matthew. I'm sure Ashley, sorry, I'm sure you did. Is there a way to map Q mix and gain for effects on both decks? Can you help? No, you can't, because they're hardware controls. So I know what you're saying. So for instance, it'll be the same on all of them, by the way. So for instance, this is the DJ, the Reloop Ready. And these controls here aren't MIDI mappable because they're not in Serato. You turn the headphones volume there and it won't turn in Serato. I'm pretty sure that's the case. And so therefore they can't be remapped. I'm pretty sure they can't be remapped anyway, even if they do turn the equivalent control in your software. So no, unless someone can tell me I'm wrong there, I'm pretty sure that's the way it works. Will we ever see a DJ-200 for Rekordbox? No idea. You need to ask that to Pioneer DJ. Michael loves the DJ-200. I love bringing it with me when I travel, especially on those long intercontinental flights. You're still flying intercontinental, are you, Michael? We are not. Not been in a plane for, 18 months. Doing our bit for the environment though, aren't we? At the same time. That new one looks banging, says Positive Con. I won't lie, just the placement of those temper faders though, you'll get used to them. I'm DJing with a Pine, I really am stumbling over my words today, aren't I? I'm DJing with a Denon Prime Go at the moment, and that's got a weird layout. The Pioneer DJM S7 scratch mixer, you know, the kind of signature scratch mixer for half a decade, that's got a weird layout of controls. You do get used to these things, but I do agree that they're in a slightly strange place. The DDJ-400 works out the box with DJ for iOS, as does the DDJ-200. Says Mike, I would suggest these for kids because it prepares them for bigger gear. One good thing about Pioneer's record box enabled controllers is, you know, if you in the end you want to DJ in clubs with record box, it will prepare you for doing that. So I agree. Right, this is just so much fun, isn't it? I can't believe that you lot are so engaged by this mini controller thing. I mean, let's face it, digital made this kind of thing possible, right? Before digital, we had to put our stuff in the boot of a car, and it took 2 journeys to get it into the place we were setting it up. Now with digital, you can put it all in a backpack and walk anywhere you want, get your 4G on and live stream. I mean, times really, really have changed, haven't they? So William says, I wish the smaller ones had the 2-band bass and treble knobs. Yeah, but you know, they just can't. There just isn't the room for them. Positive Con is loving the Reloop Ready's effects banks, and DJ Fetter's actually liking the way the controls are laid out on there as well. You certainly do get a lot of the benefits of a bigger controller when you push that pitch control somewhere else, which is what this one does. You know, you've got reasonable sized jog wheel, really, really big pads, and the reason that is that these are the pitch controls that should be here, or if they were there, this slot would have to shrink. So it's a design decision that they've taken. So someone's saying, show us a DDJ-400 so we can see what they look like. That would have been a good thing to do, wouldn't it? But the DDJ-400 is nowhere within reach, so I can't do that. Just trust me, it's quite a bit bigger than any of these, and all those entry controllers are quite a bit bigger than any of these. Right, I'm going to answer 1 or 2 more of your questions before I have to shoot off today. So the reason my eyes are away from you is that I'm scanning and scanning and scanning. Simon, the Denon Prime Go is not there. No, it's not a controller, number 1, and it's way bigger than these, number 2. I love it. I use it all the time, but it's not what we're looking at today, Simon. But thank you for your comment. No, none of them have got mic inputs. These are the things you're going to miss, DJ Fetter, when you go for these smaller controllers. It's, you know, they've all got RCA outputs. You know, you don't get balanced outputs, or you know, I'd imagine an XLR socket is going to actually be too big to fit in the cases of some of these things because they're so small. And Thomas, just to confirm, they are all compatible with Beatport because the software they all run is compatible with Beatport Link, BeatSource Link, SoundCloud Go Plus, Tidal, and all the rest. So I'm just going to literally pull out 1 or 2 more. I know lots and lots of you have been talking. Hello, Michael, who says that Reloop probably works great with Virtual DJ. They all work great with Virtual DJ. Roughly $100 more than the others for tons more functionality. Nice. Yes, it's a good little second controller for a pro DJ, I would say, the new Reloop Ready. By the way, if you're wondering what we're talking about, this Reloop Ready, you can read about it on the website. It's a new controller that's just been launched today, a tiny little controller for Serato that has got more features on it than any other ultra small controller, and it's prompted the whole of today's discussion, which is on the best tiny DJ controllers out there. I've written a short news story over on Digital DJ Tips that you can read, and the review of that will be coming very soon, but that's why we're talking about this subject today. Philip says, any of these compatible with Traktor? No, but you could probably try mapping them. You might find the jog wheels a little bit difficult to map and get to work properly, but you could try mapping them. Yeah, the Prime Go really is an awful lot bigger than all of these, David. It is. I should have got a bigger controller. In fact, let me just see if I can see one over there. Can I see a bigger controller? I just want to show you, what have we got in the studio at the moment? Have I got a little Pioneer over there? I've got a Traktor Control S2, which is a equivalent size. Shall I go and get the Traktor Control S2? Let's do that. So this is the size of the controllers that we're talking about today, and I'm just going to grab a Traktor Control S2, which is a pretty small controller. It is, in fact, what's this? Here we go, even better, because this is the one you've been asking for, the DDJ-400. This is a DDJ-400. Yep, this is the little Numark. I'm just looking at the check, you can see the difference here. This is the biggest of these ones is the Reloop. You see that? You see the difference? It is massively different in size. You know, one of these is portable, one of these is ultra portable, one of these is small, one of these is very small. And so that's why we haven't included this, the SB3, the S2 in fact, the Hercules Impulse 200 and 300, because they are just getting on for this size. So that's why we haven't included it today. So there you go, people. Ask and you will get. I did manage to get over there and tell you all about the difference in size between those. What would be the best and cheapest upgrade from a party mix, says Christopher? Well, basically, if you're upgrading from one of these, I would jump over the next size up, the DDJ-200, the SB3 and that, and I would go for the kind of semi-pro controllers, because these will do you in the meantime. So, you know, if it were me and I was upgrading from a party mix, so you'd be looking for another Serato controller, you could go for the SB3, but as I say, it's not a massive upgrade. It might be all you need, in which case that'd be okay. The DDJ SB3 from Pioneer. You could look at the Hercules Impulse 500. That's a very good Serato controller, quite a lot bigger, quite a lot more control there. But if it were me, I would probably go for, what would I go for Serato? I just want all that, I'd want all the control. I'd go for, to be honest with you, a DDJ-1000 SRT. Which is a much bigger controller. It's like $1,000, but it's got everything I would want in a grown-up controller. That's what I'd go for. So right, people, we've overrun. I love overrunning. It means that you've enjoyed the show and you've got a lot to say. But I do have to get out of here. I do have other stuff that I've got to get to, including lessons and stuff. So look, thank you very much for being here. I hope you've enjoyed it. We've been talking about the tiniest DJ controllers on the market, and we've been talking about our favorite among them. If you have missed this, you've joined us late, subscribe so that it doesn't happen again. But also you can watch the replay. But do this stuff, people. And also, if this has been useful to you, please do click the like button, or even better, click the share button. I just want to end off with a couple of people saying hello over there on Mixcloud, because we can't get you in our system. So hello to Joe Green and to Andy Mack and to Rob Bryan voiceovers, a brother named Sherm, Chipco, Jai Panade, and all our usual crew over there on Mixcloud. We don't forget you, people. We do appreciate you being with us. Right, I am back on Thursday in the same slot with even more improvements to our rapidly changing studio, I hope. I will see you then. Thank you for joining us today. Hit the like button if you've enjoyed this. Thursday then, at the same time. And look at your watch now. Add 15 minutes on. Come back on Sunday and I'll be DJing. Playing hopefully a sundown DJ set somewhere where the weather is good and outdoors. So come and join me for some chilled out house music on Sunday at 5 p.m. London at midday Eastern, which is in about 15 minutes from now. I'd love to see you there. Meanwhile, get good, get out there, make the moments, and we'll see you again very soon.